Welcome back. Time for our house call. As we get older, sometimes it might be hard to roll out of bed, or you notice your knees getting kind of sore. Dr. Ryan Draper is a sports medicine specialist at Cone Health Sports Medicine, and he joins us to talk about it. Good morning.
Good morning.
I think everybody's got aches and pains, but especially if you work out, you really start to feel them sometimes. Do you work through that if it's just a little achiness?
Yeah, I think that as long as the pain isn't debilitating, as long as it's just a little sore, like you say, and not really real painful, and as long as you're not getting any swelling in the joint, I think you're fine to try to work through that. And then if you're experiencing any significant pain post-exercise, then that may be a warning sign as well.
There's working out at the gym, and a lot of people say, well, one of the first places is going walking or working up to running. Can that be hard on your joints sometimes?
Well, it can if you've already got some underlying arthritis, but one of the misconceptions out there is that walking and running actually leads to arthritis in the knees, and that's not true at all. In fact, the opposite is true. Running has actually been proven to help stave off arthritis unless you've had a major surgery to a joint or a major injury.
What about warm-up and things like that? What do you recommend? How much of a warm-up do you need to do?
Yeah, so 5 to 10 minutes of a general warm-up, a warm-up being whatever activity it is that you're going to be engaging in. So if you're going to be walking or running, just a light walk or a light run for 5 to 10 minutes leading up to that exercise bout.
So you can actually literally, if you're going to go run, just some walking, you don't have to do any complex stretches or something like that?
No, in fact, stretching is important, but we recommend that you actually stretch after exercise.
And see, a lot of people want to do that before they go out.
That's correct. Yeah. But you want to stretch a warmed muscle, so we recommend that you do your stretching afterwards.
What would be a good stretch afterward?
So, any of the lower body stretches, hamstring stretches, quad stretches, there are several different ones, and it depends on the exercise that you're doing as well, what stretches you would do.
Oh, and we were talking about walking, but just as important in the gym too, that cool down, right?
Absolutely. So immediately after exercise, so I'll use running as an example, once you're done with your run, you want to walk for 5 to 10 minutes, jog, just kind of cool yourself down.
Don't just stop.
Don't just stop. And then at the end of that, that's when you do your stretching.
As you get older, is there any reason, a lot of people say, I'm tired, I'm this, a lot of times that bit of exercise is going to put energy back in your day. It's going to keep those joints healthy.
Absolutely. And so, exercise at any age is important, and it's good not only for your joints, but it's good for your, psychological well-being, cardiovascular fitness. It just helps your overall fitness. Really.
Blood sugar, everything else. It plays into so many different things.
Absolutely.
You took away all our excuses. We got to get back to it.
That's right. Get out there.
Hey, doctor, thank you very much. We appreciate your advice today.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Shannon?
American teenagers are practicing safe sex, but a new federal report reveals very few teens are using the most effective birth control. The new Centers for Disease Control and Prevention report looked at data from 2005 to 2013. They found teen use of long-acting reversible contraceptives such as IUDs are on the rise, but most teens are opting for methods such as condoms and the pill. While researchers say they are good options, they are less effective and are more prone to incorrect and inconsistent use. Any woman who has been pregnant knows sometimes you get a little forgetful, but the pregnancy brain excuse may not work anymore. Researchers at Brigham Young University say pregnant women's brain power was the same as women who have never been pregnant. Researchers say that the pregnant women did feel worse about their test results, though. They say this pregnancy brain may just be a result of how the world is treating women while they're expecting.
You can expect to see lower gas prices when you hit the road this summer. According to the Energy Department, summer gas prices will be the lowest in 6 years. National average expected to be about a third lower than a year ago, averaging about $2.45 a gallon nationwide between April and September. We're usually below that. Today, a gallon of regular gas will cost you about $2.25 here in the Triad. That's down from $2.28 a week ago. Last month, we were paying $2.34.
High school seniors across the country getting their acceptance letters, looking forward to heading off to college. One thing they may not be thinking about right now, though, is student debt. Ted Beck is the president and CEO of the National Endowment for Financial Education. He joins us this morning to talk about how to prepare kids for some of that debt they could be facing later on. Good morning.
Good morning.
So how much debt is the average student racking up these days?
You'll see numbers between $28,000 and $29,000 by the time they graduate, and over 70% of the students are now borrowing money to get to graduation.
So how much is a good term or good things to think about before you begin borrowing for your education?
Well, I think especially right now, as high school seniors are getting acceptance letters, it's time to take a couple of steps. Hopefully you've already filled out the FAFSA form, which is the free application for federal student aid. That's a very key piece of information that schools rely on in making decisions about financial aid they'll provide. Also, I think it's important to look at the schools you're considering to see what their graduation rates are and their job placement rates in the areas, career areas you're interested in. And importantly, it's a time to sit down with the family and decide what's realistic so that you can start to make decisions that you can all live with, and a realistic discussion about what the family can provide. Then there's a series of steps you can take. You can start looking for scholarship money. You can look for work-study programs at the schools you're considering. And also, based on your income, you might qualify for a Pell Grant, which is a free program from the federal government. That's money you don't have to repay. And you're eligible for that for all 4 years. So but you have to apply each year. And you should do all that before you start to borrow money.
And let's talk about if money is really tight for families, would community college or a 2-year program before going off to a college be a good idea?
I think it's actually quite a good idea. We're seeing very strong support from community colleges across the country. Now, key things to consider are make sure the credits you take while you're in community college are transferable to the school you want to go to. And take the courses that you would take in the core program at that 4-year school so that you don't have to duplicate efforts. So pay some attention to it and stay on course so that you can graduate in a reasonable period of time. And one of the interesting things about community colleges and college in general is I've never heard anybody ask where you started college. People ask where you finish. So if you can keep your debt level down by spending 2 years in a community college and stay on schedule, you may be well off.
All right, well, thanks so much. It is some really great information. I know parents and students are paying attention this morning. We appreciate it.
Great, thank you.
So a puppy went missing. It was found several hours later, but the owners just couldn't reach him. They had to call in some help.